Why did the most handsome man in history do such disgusting things? The origin of Absalom. Let us dive into the story of one of the men who is undoubtedly referred to in the Bible as one of the most beautiful ever. We'll see what this beauty led him to do and the consequences of being so striking. I'm talking about Absalom, the third son of King David. We know that King David had 18 wives, and one of them was named Maacah. She was a princess, the daughter of the king of Geshur, named Talmai. Many say she wasn't of Jewish descent. In fact, she was a war prize. As the Bible states, that when you conquer a people and see a beautiful woman, she goes through a process to marry that soldier, which requires many steps beyond just conversion. So, Absalom's mother came from another people, which might explain something interesting. Absalom had extraordinary beauty. King David is described in the Bible as ruddy, which gives him a very unique appearance. Combined with the beauty of another culture, the biblical description of Absalom is fantastic. He was said to be the most handsome and pleasing man in all of Israel. The Bible notes that from the soles of his feet to the top of his head, there was no blemish on him. You won't find that kind of description anywhere else. His hair was particularly striking. Once a year, he would cut it, and it weighed quite a bit. This means he had a magnificent head of hair, well cared for, and described as flawless. What happens in the life of this special man? One of the key episodes that marks Absalom's path involves his half-sister Tamar. Tamar was raped by another half-brother Amnon, who came from King David's line. He fell in love with her but knew he couldn't act on it, so he devised a scheme. He pretended to be ill and asked her to come and cook for him. When they were alone, he violated his half-sister. As if that wasn't enough, he rejected her afterward, turning his affection into disgust. Tamar was cast out, dressed as one in mourning, with ashes on her head. When Absalom learned what had happened, he was filled with rage toward Amnon, and this anger caused him to stop speaking to Amnon entirely. 2 years later, Absalom hatched a plan. He threw a feast and intentionally served a lot of wine. He instructed his servants to wait until Amnon was drunk and then to kill him. And just like that, Amnon was murdered on Absalom's orders. But was this murder solely about Tamar, or was there more behind it? Considering the line of succession for King David, Absalom understood that Amnon was the only one ahead of him. Amnon was now out of the picture, but Absalom's plan didn't go as smoothly as he hoped. King David was furious about Amnon's murder, so Absalom fled north to live with his father-in-law, spending 3 years there, hoping his father's anger would subside. After 3 years, he returned to Jerusalem. Initially, his father wouldn't speak to him, but the Bible mentions that David missed Absalom a lot. Over time, that anger began to fade. When Absalom came back, he had a plan in mind. He wanted to be the next king of Israel after his father, but since his relationship with David wasn't great, he feared he wouldn't be the chosen one. Perhaps it would be Solomon instead. So, he prepared a revolt against his own father. Absalom's plans were devious. He told his father he was going to Hebron, the city where David began his reign and where the tombs of the patriarchs are located. It held significant political and spiritual meaning. Before heading to Hebron, Absalom positioned himself at the city gate, where people came to seek judgment from the king. When they arrived, he would tell them, "The king is too busy to see you. I'm the prince. You can trust me to judge your cases." People started to admire him and flock to him, increasing his support as the successor to King David. He also built an army. Once he reached Hebron, he told David he had a promise to fulfill there. He organized an army of 12,000 men, 1,000 from each tribe, to attack his father, who wouldn't be expecting it. This advice came from Ahithophel, who had been close to David, but had now turned traitor. What Absalom didn't realize was that David understood what was happening. He knew his son was trying to usurp the crown. So, David fled, leaving 10 concubines and one of his main advisors behind in the castle. In Hebron, Absalom's followers blew the trumpet to announce to the people that they had a new king. The revolution began, and many shouted, "Long live King Absalom." This message spread throughout all the tribes of Israel. Absalom started gathering an army, but one of David's advisors, Hushai, advised Absalom against a quick attack, suggesting he wait to build a larger army to ensure David wouldn't have a chance to prepare. Hushai was playing both sides, as he knew David wasn't ready, and if Absalom delayed, David could regroup and have a fighting chance. When Absalom finally decided to attack, David's army was already organized. A significant battle ensued, resulting in the deaths of 20,000 soldiers from Absalom's army. Such a tragic loss. In an unbelievable turn of events, Absalom, with his striking hair, was riding a mule when his hair got caught in the branches of a tree, leaving him hanging helplessly. Joab, realizing it was Absalom the son who sought to kill his own father, shot him with arrows. Other soldiers soon followed suit, and Absalom was killed in a cruel and dramatic manner. The Bible recounts that his heart was severely wounded, and ultimately, his body was thrown into a pit and covered, marking the end of a rebel against the king. Curiously, when King David heard that his son had been killed, he was deeply saddened. He cried out in despair, "Absalom, my son! Absalom, my son!" Many say he knew Absalom had sinned, and he mourned for him as if he were 7 levels below in hell, calling his name in hopes of elevating him spiritually. He pleaded with God for mercy on his son, acknowledging his sins, but still yearning for his son's salvation. It's true, Absalom sinned, but he was still David's son. Many believe that his desire to be king stemmed from his incredible appearance. The Bible says he was flawless from head to toe, and people admired him, constantly praising him. During his revolt, he shamelessly took his father's concubines and had relations with them on the roof of the palace for all to see, asserting his claim to the throne. This extraordinary beauty led to his arrogance, causing him to think he deserved the crown. In the end, this was one of his greatest mistakes. He couldn't control the power of his own beauty. Interestingly, in modern-day Jerusalem, you can find a monument to Absalom beneath the Mount of Olives, near the Temple Mount. This structure, known as Absalom's tomb, was once thought to be his burial site. In reality, it's just an impressive structure that people can visit, serving as a reminder of a man named Absalom, who was deeply loved by his father despite his tragic story. It's a tale that begins with a special mother, involves defending his sister, but ultimately leads him down a dark path, where beauty controlled his basest instincts. That was Absalom, one of the most beautiful men who ever lived. If you felt connected to this inspiring story, don't forget to share this video with someone who needs to learn about the Bible. Turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and leave a like. We'll see you in the next video with more inspiring stories like this one.